Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. All right. So next up, we have a wonderful human who we first met actually when we were living in Abu Dhabi, Dr. Hasan Almozayin. But first, let's just ask you this. How can we possibly think about changing the world when some days it's a struggle to get out of bed in the morning? The answer is to start helping yourself, obviously with other people in mind, but as we learned earlier from JP and from Robert, we need to generate these states for ourselves. We need to be energized to be able to do so. So helping ourselves is the way that we do that. I know that can come with a lot of challenges, right? So this is why we asked Dr. Hasan to come and speak to us today about how to be able to help yourself and then help others.
Definitely. Dr. Hasan is the founder of the School of Life and helps his clients to put themselves first, get to know themselves, and then position their motivation in a direction that's right for them. Very quickly overcoming challenges, accelerate their growth, and then end up helping others by helping themselves. Now, Dr. Hasan has been featured on Sky News, Al Jazeera, CBC, OTV, just to name a few. And with over 2 million followers on his social media platforms, he believes that commitment to self-knowledge is the key to development and growth. If you have a deep longing to help others, but feel like you need to help yourself first in order to do so, then listen up really, really close for this one, okay? So enjoy this talk because it is going to be absolutely amazing. So
Dr. Hasan, we're about to shine the spotlight on you, my friend. You're in this time slot to raise that energy back up after lunch, I think, for most people, depending on where it is they're listening from.
Definitely.
If you want to
there you go.
Yourself.
Okay, the spotlight for everyone, so everyone can see you. Perfect. There you go. Hello, how are you?
Charlotte and Jonathan. How are you guys?
Great, thank you.
First of all, it's very weird that these two names, when they are together, they are very dangerous. I remember 2012 Britain Got Talent. There was a couple by the name of Jonathan. I don't know if you remember these people. They were amazing. Like, they shocked the whole world, and I think they almost win the whole thing. So I think these two names are so dangerous together.
Trust me, we will not sing the way they did, and we promise
not
not to.
I'm not going to ask you to sing. You're not singing today.
No, we don't want to scare anyone off.
Let me first say hi to everyone, and I wish that, and I know that what's happening today is amazing. The group of people that gathered today and the speeches, they were very interesting. I hope that I can add something today. I'm not going to come to show my muscles of the knowledge I have. I'm going to share some personal stories, and we will talk about this principle that if you want to help others, you need to start by helping yourself. And I'm sorry if I will shock you at the beginning and I say that I don't believe in this. Actually, I believe in the opposite, that the only way that you can help yourself is by helping others. And I will say that I learned it the hard way, not the easy way. But let's start by saying something that, no one doesn't have this now. Everyone has this smartphone. And always I think, like, these people are making a lot of money. And why? This is the most important thing. I remember at the beginning of using in general mobiles, I was using Nokia. I think everyone knows Nokia. But now nobody knows about Nokia at all. They just disappear from the market, and smartphones started to take the lead. And again, they are making a lot of money. And if you think about it, these people, they are smart by doing one thing only. They don't care about the product. They care about the customer. So this is why, the idea of putting a camera in front for you to take a selfie, like, who think about this? It's someone who's like, how can I make it easier for people? How can I do something that make their lives easier? And this is where, because I do a lot of business consultation, and I say to people, like, if you think about your product, you will disappear. You have always to think about your customer. And from there, I will take you to my personal story about helping others. People who knows me and they follow me, they know very well the relation that I had with my mother. Because for me, my mother is the one who made me from scratch. I still remember that I was 3 years old when she started to read, and she was like every 3 days she finished a book. And I remember that she put me in a corner and she started to read stuff that I never understand, but I get used to listen to this kind of deep talking and stuff like this. And our relation grew, and she was calling me a doctor since I was like 5 years old. And I remember when we have guests, because I am Dr. Hasan since I was 5 years old, I was writing prescriptions, and the prescription, of course, was Kit Kat and chocolate, like you have to bring me this and you will be okay. But it was like a neuro-linguistic programming. She was programming me, but she kept telling me 2 things all the time. Everything in this life will happen for you, not to you. And the second, if you want to be happy, you need to make someone else happy. This was amazing. And I started to study. My IQ tests were very high. And I finished pharmacology. And then I started to go into the specialty of central nervous system medications, which is one of the most complicated. Most of people, they don't like because it's a lot of studying. And anyway, the nervous system is very hard. The brain is hard because I say all the time, all doctors can go into the organs that they are treating. You can do endoscopy, colonoscopy, blood tests. But when it comes to brain, you cannot go inside and see what's happening. I finished, and I had at that time to go to mental hospitals. It was part of my program. So I went with this perception that I will go to see now people who are financially not okay, and they are not so educated. This is what I thought. And my first case was a guy who had 2 PhDs. This guy was so charismatic. He was so educated. And he had schizophrenia. And I started to talk to this guy, and I just realized something so important. This guy had everything. He had knowledge. He belonged to a very rich family. And what happened for this guy that he fell in love and she left him and he couldn't handle it. He was so fragile that he lost it. Again, there are a lot of other reasons for schizophrenia. We are not now here giving this excuse, but I ask myself a question: why people lose their mind? Why we are depressed? Why we have issues all the time? Why we cannot resist? And from there, I started to understand that, because I saw how they treat people in the hospital. It's all about giving them chemicals. Take this pill and this for you to sleep. And then they became addicted one way or another. And nobody speaks to nobody. And I remember that when they bring him, they didn't even call him by name. It was a file number. And I went and I talked to this guy. And this guy, after that, he became one of my biggest source of philosophy, because he had his own philosophy about life. Everything was okay. And I was promoting myself day after day. I was studying more. I was like, I need to be so educated to be able to help people. And until one day, and I was on the peak of everything, I had this phone call, and it was the worst phone call I ever had. They said, "Hi, Mama," it was my sister. She said, "Mama, she had cancer. And it's a very late stage." Now, someone like me, I don't know. I don't know how to lose. I just don't know how to lose. I was this kind of character that, no, what late stage? We will manage this. And I call it the bleeding phase of my life. Everything was bleeding. Emotion, money, everything. I tried everything. And I remember the last 36 days, she entered into a coma. And I remember I traveled back and I went to see her. And the moment I entered the room, she was not responding to anything. But when I entered the room, she felt me, and the heartbeat started boom, boom, in a way that the doctor ran back to the room and he said, "Who are you?" And I said, "I am her son." And he immediately told me, "You are Hasan." And I told him, yes. He told me the last thing that she said before she entered the coma. She said, "Every cell of my body is happy and proud about Hasan." She was mentioning me, Anyway, And at that time, I was looking at my mother. She's not responding. I tried to call her, to talk to her, to remind her of stuff. Nothing is happening. And I looked at her and I said, tell me, please, how this thing now is happening for me. You said that everything will happen for me. Please tell me how. Give me a sign. Of course, there was no response. Suddenly, a guy was looking at me from outside, and it was an ICU room. So there are like units. And the guy was looking at me and he was like, he knows me, he wants to approach me, and he's hesitating until eventually he approached me and he said, you are Dr. Hasan, no? Oh my God, I follow you, you are amazing, la, 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 la. And at that particular moment, I cannot withstand even a fly. So I just want him to finish and leave because I'm not okay. So how can I help someone if I'm not okay? But he told me, I need your help. My father had cancer. He's late stage. I think it's a matter of days. But the issue is with my mother. If she stay crying like this, I think she will follow him, or maybe she will die before him. Please, she's following you. She consider you someone so influential. Please help. Maybe if you talk to her. At this particular moment, I looked at my mother and I said, I think I understand. I went, I talked to these people. I was not okay. But the minute I finished what I said, the message was for me, not for them. Because I remember I was telling them that you need to be strong. You need to start to think how to manage this. What you will gain. This guy, maybe the best thing for him now, the mercy that will happen now for him to go to a better place. But the thing is that if this guy had the ability now to talk, he will be happy about what you're doing with yourself, what he will ask you to do. And they start to think like, okay, I need to think differently. Yes, crying will not solve the issue. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be sad. No, you need to be sad. But at the end of the day, we will not make one issue bigger. Nothing will help if I am destroying myself for someone else. And I look at this mother and I told her, how many kids you have? And she said she had 4. And I said that now they need you. And now it's a very good time to teach these kids that lives will go to an end one day. And maybe they have to use the time wisely and to spend it in a way that they will leave a legacy after them. You never know. This was the time where everything changed in my life. From being a consultant for only rich people, VIPs, with a very high price. And I said, no, I need to reach more people. I think a lot of people need help. And they don't need motivation. I don't believe in motivation. By the way, when someone motivates a group of people, he's the only one who's motivated. Because I can tell you that you can do it. You can be, and I think this is the American way, and it's spread everywhere, which is, you are a lion. No, I want to see the strength. Man, I am not a lion. I am a rabbit. I am a rabbit, and I will be happy being a rabbit. But at the end of the day, we need to learn how to help ourselves by finding something bigger than ourselves to focus on. It's like going up. People who are in Dubai now, if you go up to a building 25 floors and you look down, everything looks smaller and your vision can take a bigger space. So you see everything clear, you see everything smaller. And this exactly, when you started to think about helping others, your own issue becomes so small. And I think the first one who will benefit of this kind of act is the person who is doing it. Because I always say that whenever I advise someone to do something, immediately it's going into my subconscious. So some people with their issue, they remind me, how should I think in a positive way? Because life is shit. It's shit. And I just don't understand how people go and say, motivational speaker, life is amazing. No, life is not amazing. I am born to die. So where is the amazing life? Still, in this shit, we can build gardens. Everyone can do his own garden, and you do your own garden, and then we can make some bridges. But understanding what is life is the first thing that you can deal with it. Because if you lie to yourself, you will always be disappointed. Why I am not happy? I am doing this. I am going to NLP. I am going to meditation. I am successful. I made money. I am married. And at the end of the day, I am not happy. Because you are running after illusion. Life is not that amazing. No, it's not. It's not. Just not. This is what's life. It's a lot of struggle. But it doesn't mean that I have to give up and say, oh, okay, this is life. I shouldn't do anything. No. You should learn how to help others in order to help yourself. It's how to grow to a different level, to upgrade yourself, to go from this war that's called life. I am an old-fashioned man, so I love Frank Sinatra. I love this man. I love his songs, and the famous one, and now the end is near. So one time I was hearing this, the end of me, and I did it my way. And I said, what if now I'm 80 or 90 years old? And I just imagine, and I have this power, I love to go into imagination. And I said, okay, I am now 80 years old. And I remember that I started to shiver. And I asked myself at this, what you will regret? And what you will say that, oh my God, I'm so proud that I did this. And I found out something amazing, that everything that I say that I'm so proud of was related to someone else. It was not related to me. I didn't say that I'm so proud that I buy a brand new Mercedes, or I'm so proud that I built an amazing house. Everything was related, like I'm so proud that I raised an amazing kid. I'm so proud that I helped many people, and so on and so forth. And I advise all of you to remember this and to try to do it. You know, at the end of the day, we will reach to a point that wishes cannot be true, because we will lose the strength. And you know, it's counting down since we are born. But the amazing thing about life, that it's a decision. It's only a decision. In one point, I could have been in a different place because of a decision. I remember when my mother's story happened and everything, I lost self-confidence. I said, I was advising people to live life, and life is amazing. And I was like, sometimes I was judging, like, why they are so sad, and why? And then I understand that sometimes life can hit you so hard in a way that you will feel that you are so weak. But in this weakness, we discover that you have the strength of one thing only, that nobody can take from you. You are so free to react to what's happening to you. So life can hit, but it's my decision to react, how I will interpret, what I will do. This is my decision. Yes, some people are lucky and some people are not. But at the end of the day, it's how they see it. It's how they see it. This is why we see a lot of people, and they influence us all over the Facebook and YouTube. We see people that are, you know, they have special needs and stuff like this, and they are so motivated and they are happier than people who had everything. And I always say, if it's about money, I will not find food. I will not be able to make money, because most of our consultations come from people who had everything, but they don't know how to be happy, because it's the illusion of I'm running and running and running because I want to achieve something. And then when I achieve this thing, I say, oh my God, why am I not happy? The thing is that lately, like the last 50 years, it's like media was used in a very mean way for us to be more consuming. This is why they are selling more like how for you to be okay. So this is why the plastic surgery now is growing. fast food, everything is easier, faster. And unfortunately, it's bad. It's not helping people to be happy. Now I am living a life that 100 years, only I think kings were living. It's, you know, the easy way to communicate with people, having a phone to call anyone. Everyone had a car now. My father was going to his school walking. Car was something that is, what car? Nobody, it's not something that everyone had. Now everyone can afford to have a car or to have a phone, a Samsung, iPhone, whatever. So we are living an easier life, but still we are not happy. This media change what I call the empathic relation and replace it with something called contracts. So my relation with my wife is a contract. It's not based on empathy. So I can wake up in the morning, I want to divorce. Why? I'm not happy. Why you're not happy? I don't know. And I hear it a lot, like, my husband is kind, but I'm not happy. I want to discover myself. Why? Because the media put in our mind that there is something always missing and you need to search for it. And you need to be so selfish, otherwise you will not be able to live. Be selfish. Man, if this was true, that I need to help myself first to be able to help others, what my mother and your mother was doing. You know what? She will say, shut up, nobody talk to me, I need to be okay. Let me sleep, let me eat, let me go to the gym, let me breathe, let me meditate, and then I will take care of my kids. You think a mother, if she will do this, she will be happy? I always relate it to mother because they are the best way to describe giving. And she's happy. She's not sleeping, but she's happy. She go through hell until she give birth. But all the pain is going away when they put this baby in her hand and she start to look at him and smile. And he looks so ugly, but she see him the most, all kids are born not so beautiful because of that. But she see him the most beautiful creature. And she can do anything for this kid to live a better life. And she is focused on this in a way that she's not complaining. I cannot do what a woman can do. I cannot sleep 2 hours a day. I cannot, I just can't. For no one. I cannot stay awake. I cannot hear a kid crying all night. Wah, 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 wah. And I need to know and guess if it's gas or he's hungry or I don't know what. And I cannot do this. But a woman can do it. Yes, she had something called motherhood instinct. But shouldn't we learn something from this? Why she's withstanding all this hardship? Because she's giving. She's giving. This is why my idea about being happy in life is all related to giving. After this incident with my mother, and I started to do this online courses before COVID, before all this, and I started to say, like, I want to reach more people, and I opened my Facebook page, and a lot of people was like doubting, and they say, ah, come on, nobody will listen to this thing. And I said, okay, let's try. And now I'm celebrating 2 million followers. I remember in COVID, I had one video that had 75 million views. Why? Because I always stick to the truth. And I always believe that in order for me to survive, I need to make other people survive. I need to make it easier. This is my role. So I will ask you to do the following. This is a small advice from someone who go through hardship until I reach there. Ask yourself, because you are, for sure you are blessed. Ask yourself, what are you blessed with? You can name 5 of your top blessings, and then ask yourself, how can you help using your blessings someone else? Immediately, your brain will change the focus from being, oh my God, I cannot do this, I am so lonely, I am so bored, COVID. Immediately, your brain will give you different answers. That's the only way the brain works. Change the question, the brain will change the answer. So this was my story. This is what I wanted to share with you. I will be pleased if you have questions or anything that you need to ask about, and I will be happy to answer it.
Do we have any questions for Dr. Hasan? Pop them in the chat box if you do. There's some incredible messages here to you. Everyone's loving you. They're loving your heart. They're loving your story. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. No questions as yet, but that's okay. I mean, I think you're giving them lots to think about. A lot to think about. They're sitting there counting their blessings, that's for sure. I know I am.
Pain is the best teacher in life. I don't know, my life was, I lost a lot of people lately. My mother was first, but I think the most painful was my sister last year. She's 33 years old. She slept and never woke up. And I think I always say that death is all over around me, because it pushed me to maybe to share what I was blessed of. A lot of time I said to myself, how, because people like, oh my God, you were amazing and you were so, and I said to myself, it's not about what I know. Sometimes I feel like there is something that make me talk from my heart, but again, it's all about pain. But at the end of the day, I am the happiest person alive. People are, how do you have all this pain in your life and you're still standing and helping? And I said, this is my treatment. And we need to understand that if I will stay one day at home and I will think like, oh my God, my sister, oh my God, my mother, if I will think only about myself, I will kill myself. But the minute I will say, okay, there are people who have more drama in their life. We are living in a very hard time now, war everywhere, refugees, poverty, COVID, whatever. This is where you started to distract your attention, and then you start to see like, oh, you know, my issues is not that big.
Exactly, it gives us perspective, doesn't it? Dr. Hasan, we've got one question in from Linda, which is, how can you accept loss?
How can I accept loss? Okay. You need to know that you will be lost one day. So I will only not accept loss if I will say that some people will stay and some people will leave. So this is so unfair. The best thing about death, it's the most fair thing on earth. It's the most fair thing that we know, because it will reach each and every one of us. So at the end of the day, if it's fair, I will not be angry of something that is so fair. Yes, I will accept the fact that people don't want to be sad. They don't want to experience any negative emotion. This is why a lot of people now in car, when you see people driving and still they are texting. You know why they are texting? Because they cannot afford to be lonely. They don't know how to deal with being alone. Even in the car, immediately go to an elevator. Immediately people start to check their phones. It's not like they have something important to do, but we don't know how to deal with negative emotions. People like, I don't want to be sad. Man, be sad. Be sad. Let it go inside you. Let it go. Okay. But this is where emotional intelligence is important. You need to understand that each emotion is an instrument. And for you to live in harmony, these emotions should play together. You cannot exclude one instrument. Okay, I don't want a piano. I want only the violin. No, the best orchestra symphony is where everyone is playing. Everyone is doing his part. So you need to understand that don't stay in one emotion. You can always go from one emotion to another. Be human. Your tears are proof that you are still human.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Honestly, Dr. Hasan, thank you so much for sharing your heart with us. It's been so valuable, honestly. And like I can't wait to watch the replay to this. I don't know about everybody else that's been here live as well, but I can't wait because there's just so many common themes between all of our speakers as well, right? How our emotions are our best teachers, and how living in harmony with ourselves before anything else creates even more harmony in the world. And thank you so much, Dr. Hasan.
You are so welcome. You are so welcome. I need to say one last thing before I leave. I remember the first time I met you, Charlotte, and then I know Jonathan, and And I have to say that what I like about you, that you're not fake. You are so authentic, you are so genuine. And I always, you remember very well, I always believed in you. And I always believe that one day you will be someone who's helping a lot of people. And I think that you are doing this right now, and I will wish you the best of luck. And whenever you will need me, you will find me.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
You are so welcome. So
take care, Dr. Hasan. We will see
thank you. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. So guys, just drop in the